All right, what's going on, y'all? My name is CJ. For some of y'all that know me, you may know me by CJ the Prophet. But for all intents and purposes, here right now, while I'm here today, I just want to keep things, real personal, real relaxed. In a sense, a lot of times it gets very overwhelming having to be an artist at all times, if that makes sense. For a lot of musicians and artists, and especially in the social media era, it's like it's a lot to be a walking marketing strategy at all times, everywhere you go. You know what I'm saying? Which is great. It's great to be dedicated, in a sense, as far as artistry and marketing yourself. But for this, I wanted it to be a space where it's just personal. It's just who we are as human beings. As opposed to being musicians at the same time. So right now, I want to welcome y'all. This is episode one of the Music Means podcast. All right, so this podcast, right? This is coming out of nowhere, right? So this podcast is really something that I've wanted to do for a long time. You know, I feel like my perception on social media is maybe someone who is very stoic, and I'm saying that because I've been hearing that a lot. People tell me that, and it's like I don't know if I come off as like serious all the time, but I've been trying to find ways to work around that because like number one, I'm not the real guy or the I got to do all these gimmicks and do all that stuff. No shot to anyone that's into that as a way of marketing yourself, but that's just not me. So I've been trying to find ways around just really letting people in on who I am and my thought process and especially my experiences. I've been writing down ideas for a long time and I've been trying to think of ways. I've been watching podcasts. I've been working with my brother Jason on his podcast, which is essentially our podcast, and that's the Fairly Decent podcast, which is it's almost at its year mark, which is amazing. So I've really been sitting back and watching how this game goes and what it's about, and just been kind of taking notes. So at the front, I would like to say if you are not following the Fairly Decent podcast, please go and follow that. It's on Instagram, and our YouTube channel is up and running, and it's going really well. It's going really well. So that's where we are. This is the Music Means podcast. I wanted to create this as like sort of like a safe space for musicians to come in and link and just talk and chop it up, and then ideally just share our experiences because people need to hear it. I know we all have our own views and perspectives and our own lives that we go through, but I think it's important not only for people to hear this through the music, um, but also just like straightforward. Like these are our experiences. And a lot of time as artists, like we go to different platforms and radio stations and podcasts and content creation as a whole. Um, and it's always just interviewing the artist in most cases and trying to find clickbait and what will work for this platform, and it's just like a transactional thing. And that's cool. That's the game. I understand that. It's fine. But I just wanted to see a space. I just don't know of too many around here where we can just be people and chop it up, but still speak about our musical experiences, and how we maneuver through it. Because I don't care how many followers you get, how trendy you are or money, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing really matters if you're not okay up here. And people need to know that, you're not alone. So I'm hoping that this podcast will inspire folks and let people feel a part of something that's bigger than them. You know what I mean? So here we are, and I'm just going for it. I don't have a full production. I'm at home right now. I'm doing it all by myself. I got my lights set up. You know what I'm saying? I try to make it look real cozy and everything like that. But we're just, we're gonna see where this goes and how this goes. So hopefully, you're tuned in. If you're following me, you can watch this journey and where we go. And I really want to sit down with other artists and musicians and people that I know, people that are in the industry, and just have all different walks of life. And I really want to try to take this somewhere. So with that being said, this is the Music Means podcast, right? So my vision is like every episode, if I'm sitting with someone, I want to start off by asking what music means to them, right? So that way we kind of get an understanding because music means something. to everyone. You know, it's everyone has their own experiences, and music does something different for everyone. And there may be some people who don't feel the same about music. Music is just kind of a thing, you know, and it might not be as pivotal or impactful in people's lives. And that part is interesting to me too, because I don't know what that feels like. Like, music has always been my life, literally since I was born. So, you know, it can get very interesting. And I don't always want to, this isn't going to be like an interview based podcast, if you will. You know what I mean? It's also going to be me kind of opening up. I have so many experiences in this journey and in my career so far. I mean, so many. And a lot of times I don't really open up. And I don't know why that is about myself. I'm still learning and I'm trying to work through it. But I don't ever want anyone to feel as if I'm like, how do I word this? Like, I'm not, it's, I don't know, the way I lead life, like, it's not about me. And I don't care to show off the glitz and the glamours of everything that I've done. I just don't look to do that. And I don't ever want anyone to feel as if I'm just trying to show off and like, oh, I did this. What have you done? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I want to do. And there is a way I'm learning and I'm trying to master it, because a lot of people lately are telling me, you know, it's cool to be humble. That's great. But also, at some points, like, you gotta share what you've been through, and you gotta, you know, you gotta be arrogant in some facets of this industry. So, you know, I'm trying to work through it. So, you know, throughout this podcast, I'm gonna share experiences, the people I've met, the people I've worked with, the things I've seen, places I've been, and you know, just kind of my journey so far. So that's where we're gonna go, you know, with this podcast. So again, welcome. This is the Music Means Podcast. Um, so where do I want to start? So this is just gonna be the intro. I just kind of want to open it up, let you guys kind of feel the idea, my vision. Hopefully it makes sense to y'all. Hopefully this is a very easy listen. Something for you to just kind of throw on as, you know, kicking it around the house or in the car. And you're interested on, you know, what it's like to be an independent musician. And, you know, hopefully this is something you guys enjoy. If not, it's totally okay. And it's, you know, it is what it is. But this is something that I really want to do and really venture into. So like I like to start at, you know, where I am mentally. A lot of you may know what I've been going through lately, as we all are going through things, and I'm aware of that. And a lot of times I struggle with showing up. And this is just me being fully vulnerable, man. Like, a lot of times I go into my shell. I have really bad anxiety. I fight depression a lot. Um, there's a lot of depression in my family, a lot of addiction things. Um, I grew up with a father who was diagnosed with lupus when I was young, um, and he survived it. He wasn't supposed to survive it, and I'm only sharing this to say one of the things that comes along with lupus is very heavy and like seasonal, and I would even say chronic, like depression. And I personally believe that that is something that is like passed down, honestly. And I think that that's something that I have been battling. And the older I get, I'm 34 years old now, and the older I get, it's not easier to deal with. It actually gets harder. And that's just for me personally. So mentally, I'm a lot better these days. It just comes in waves and it comes and goes. And some days I can laugh and smile. Some days I don't want to talk to anyone, but I'm trying to do better at it. So like, mentally, I'm good today. I'm thankful. I'm glad I woke up this morning. I'm glad I'm finally taking on this venture. I keep saying venture, but literally this venture and this journey onto the podcast, because as y'all know, like I make so much music. I put out a lot of music. I have a lot of music that I haven't put out, but I've been getting into like a rut. Honestly, like, I'm just overwhelmed, and I give myself to a lot of people in my time, and I've been really trying to focus on how to like give my time to myself. So if you haven't really seen me around much lately, I'm not posting much. I'm not doing a lot. It's because, you know, I'm dealing with stuff, and this is just and it's just life stuff. You know, I have personal things going on that have been going on all year that I'm just trying to maneuver through, and I'm trying to do my best. I'm not trying to hide and act like ain't nothing going on, because that's what a lot of us do, you know, do out here. But like, I do have a lot going on, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, you know. But hopefully, the people that know me know that like my whole motto and everything is with love. Like that's my whole thing. So I hope that anybody I interact with, you feel that I love you and I'm there for you. But if I ever feel off or I'm standoffish or anything like that, or it seems like I'm taking a dip in my music and XYZ, just know that I'm human. Just know that I'm human. So I want to start by saying mentally, I'm very thankful today. I'm blessed. I feel very clear. And not every day is like that. Not every day is like that. So when you have those days, you better just ring it out as best as you can and get all of it that you can, because it's not always gonna be there, you know. So, you know, it's important to make the most of it, and that's kind of where I am mentally right now. I'm very thankful, very blessed. I'm inspired today. So to anybody out there that's going through things in the same sort of sense, I want you to know I'm with you. You can contact me. I'm there. If I don't respond immediately, it's because I'm going through things as well. But just know that I'm praying and I'm there for you. And you have people in your corner that love you. So, you know, what is today? Thursday. So, you know, we're almost through the week. But when you hear this, just make it an effort to love on somebody and let people know that you're there for them as best as you can. You know, that's really all we can do. Um, so yeah, again, this is the Music Means podcast. I do want to start, you know, this intro episode with sharing a little bit of my experience. I want to talk about one very particular experience. The question I have written on the board up there is the moment I learned how important music is. And all throughout our lives, we have moments where you get a lot of praise. I would say you get a lot of praise. You do a show, you put an album out, and you get all these retweets and likes and shares and all these people, or you do a show and after the show you get off stage and everybody's hugging you and like, yo, you that dude and you that, like, I don't personally care about any of that personally, because usually when I'm at a show or I'm doing a show, I'm overwhelmed by all of the energies. You know, I feel a lot of things. I'm very much so an empath, and it's strong. It's a lot that weighs on you, you know, when you've been given that sort of sense, I guess. And so at my shows and stuff like that, like I have a great time. I try to provide a great show and energy, but a lot of times it's overwhelming, and I'm not looking for all of that praise. And like, it's great, it's really great for the mental, and we got to learn how to accept that praise as well, especially as artists, especially as musicians, creatives. You have to learn how to take the praise. You know, I think in our culture and in the black culture, we are very we don't know how to take praise and compliments. You know what I'm saying? So like, you can be out with the homies, you pull up, you put your fit on, you shine, and you got everything going, and you pull up, and the homies are like, "Yo, bro, that fit is crazy. Yo, them sneakers crazy." And then we always, our natural reaction be like, "Nah, man, that's you. Nah, this ain't. Nah, man." We're like, you know, that's just how we do, because we don't want to seem like we're being like narcissistic in it or any way. But at the same time, we put this on because we wanted to put this on. We wanted to feel good. So in a sense, it's like we got to learn how to take our praise and receive our flowers and compliments and things like that. You know, so I am aware of that, and I'm working on it, because I know I be having it on. I ain't even about to sit here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to sit here and act like I don't dress the way I do just because. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, uh, none of that gives me as much glory, for lack of a better term, as like this moment that I like to share with you guys. So, boom, right? So I was in the Army band for 7 years, and at my first duty station, I believe this is after I got back from my deployment. I was in Fort Drum, New York, which is like Watertown, New York. If you've ever been upstate New York, if any of my military personnel, if you've been at Fort Drum, you know that there's not much nightlife there. Like, it's really not much. There's nothing really there. A very Amish type of country there. You know what I'm saying? So it's not much to do. But there is this one little town downtown in Watertown. This one little area where there was this bar slash club called the Paddock. Now, if you've been there, you know the Paddock is that's just where you go. So you got anyone from to the town there. It's not heavily populated. Excuse me. Anyone from the town, and then you got all these military folk all going to this one little hole in the wall bar. Great place, great people there. Had a lot of fun nights. I'll say I had a lot of good times there. But there was one night I went out by myself to the paddock, um, and I was sitting out back, and it was pretty late at night. I just had decided to go out, right? And so I go out to the paddock. I'm sitting out on the patio on the back, and I'm smoking, just in my own vibe. Might have been on my phone or something, just chilling. And then this white guy comes up to me, and he's tatted all up. And he comes up to me, and he might have asked me for a lighter or something. And long story less long, we got to talking and getting to know it. He's just one of those people that come off very abrasive and is like, no, we're gonna have a conversation. Like he obviously needed someone to talk to. And usually I'd be like, oh, man. Like, bro, I'm literally in my own vibe, but that's just what it's about. You know what I'm saying? If you're this is the purpose you've been given. You gotta put away what you're feeling or what you may want or not want. You gotta put that to the side because someone needs you. And I learned that in that moment. I was like, all right, let me clear my thoughts or whatever I'm dealing with. Let me be there for him. So I did. I did that. When we got to talking, and he was telling me how he had just got out of prison, and he was younger than me. I might have been 26 at the time, and he was younger than me, and he had a good head on his shoulder. You can tell he was very smart. He just didn't have the right resources to have like a real strong belief system, even in himself. So I was like, well, let me be here for him. So we started talking about music, and then he was telling me that he was like a heroin addict, and he was like heavily on it. He used it a lot, and he had a daughter that he was trying to be a part of her life, but ever since he got out, he has no access because of his addictions and his vices. But I could tell he was a good guy. He might have sold me on it, but I could tell. And he also was like, yo, he raps and stuff, and he does like open mics. And it was cool. He showed me some stuff, and of course, he just started rapping and was like, let me, he started doing his thing. So, not once that I wasn't trying to bring up that I'm a musician or none of that, because that's not what it's about right now. It's about me being there for him, right? So, he gets to going and he's rapping his stuff for me. And then I proceeded to let him know that, hey, I do this as well. I've been doing this for X amount of years. This is what I do now. And if there's any way I can help, man, if you want to get these thoughts out, you know what I'm saying? We can do that. And then he had asked me to take him up the street somewhere for something. So we had left the bar, took him to the corner store or something. And then when we got back to the bar, we were sitting in my car. And I was like, hey, man, I really appreciate you opening up to me, about everything and sharing, man. It takes a lot to do that and to be self-aware too. Like he wasn't in denial about his life. He was very aware about his choices and what he did and what he's doing and where he wants to go. And to me, that means a lot when people are aware and they accept it and they wear it on their sleeve at the same time. Like that's beautiful to me because that means there is an opportunity for growth. That means there is an opportunity for change. And then in that, as we evolve and we change and we grow, we pass that to the next person, and that's how we keep it going. And so I was like, hey, let me play you one of our songs with me and my homeboy. Let me just play it for you. Something's just telling me to let you hear this song. And it was a song that my brother Jason and I did back in 2000, let's say like 11 or 12. And it was on a project we did called the Soul Tape 2. This song was called Don't Worry. And back in that time when had our brand Soul Society, that song Don't Worry was the hands down the biggest song we had. It was very impactful. It was very vulnerable and open. And it is, basically the hook was just saying like, you don't have to worry. Like, you don't have to worry. Worrying, it ages you. So like, no matter what you're dealing with, of course we're going to worry. We're humans. But try not to worry because ultimately, God is there and he has a plan written out for you. Ultimately, you don't have to worry. Like things are going to work out as long as you have a will to want to work in the right direction. Try not to worry. That was the song basically. So I played the song for him, right? And also, sorry, I'm a talker. Like when I get to talking, I go. So you're going to get every detail. And that's just how this podcast is going to be. So if you got somewhere to be, just go ahead. I appreciate you tapping in. But so I played the song for him. The man starts crying. I mean, I'm talking about Boohoo crying, as if he had something inside of him that he'd been wanting to let out for so long, but just I guess just couldn't maybe. Um, or maybe the song was just that good. I don't know, but he just let it out, man, in the car. So I like hug him. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. Don't worry. It's all right. Let's take the proper steps and what we need to do. So then he goes into his pocket and he brings out a wad of like aluminum foil. And he was like, listen, man, I was supposed to meet you tonight for a reason. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, hold up. What you got going on, bro? Like, what's good? Like, I'm still in the army at this time, so I don't know what you want, but we got to end that there. So he opens up the foil and he had like a wad of like heroin. You know what I'm saying? And he goes, yo, I don't know how the future looks, but right now I'm done with this, man. Like this song changed my life right now in this moment. And he was like, I'm done with this. And he goes out, he crushes it up, and he just throws it out in the snow. He might have went back later to get that. I don't know. I don't know how much that was, but like, or how much that costed. But I would like to believe that in that moment, something that I made had such an impact on someone that really needed to hear that. So I share this story to say, this is Lily, everybody. She's don't mind my dogs. I'm trying to get a new podcasting space. Go lay down, baby. Go lay down, okay? Go lay down. Thank you. Go lay down, mama. Go. Go. So in that moment, that's when I realized how important music is. Music is powerful. And to me, music means everything. It means everything. It's the single-handed thing that has kept me on this earth. I've been in dark times. There have been times I didn't want to be here anymore. Go lay down, mama. Go. Go. But music is the single thing and the energy that has kept me on this earth and inspires me to keep going every single day. Almost every day I wake up and I don't want to get up. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to go to work. But I'll put on a song and I'll get my days going, get my stretches in, my prayers, and then one song will just like, all right, let's get it. So for me, that is really what music means. And that's kind of what I want to do with this podcast. I want to share these stories. I want to share experiences. There are so many more, not just from me, but the people that I know and people that I worked with. So this is the Music Means podcast. If you would like to follow me on any social media, it's CJ the Prophet. I will have, all of the text down here and everything like that. I want to thank each and every one of you who have been around me. Sometimes I lose sight on how special I am and my gifts and why I'm here, and very often. But I really have been blessed to be surrounded by some very special people who never misses an opportunity to tell me that I'm him, and again, that's not what I'm looking for, but like when you've been given a certain task or a goal or purpose, it's inevitable. Like you have to walk into it. And a lot of times I lose sight of that. But I want to thank all of my people, my family around me, my supporters, my fans, my followers, all of those sort of things, man. I want to thank y'all, like genuinely. Thank y'all for pushing me. Thank y'all for supporting me, listening to my music. I work hard. I put a lot of my heart and soul into the things that I write and the things that I create. And so I want to thank y'all. And I hope that this is another facet of what I do and create that you guys latch on to and that you enjoy and that you get something from. That's deeper than the music. It's deeper than rapping and being a cool guy and all of that type of stuff, because that not all of that perishes. But what you leave behind is what matters. And I hope that I leave behind inspiration. I hope that I leave behind love. And I hope that I leave behind knowing that you are inspired to also chase the things that you want to chase. So again, thank y'all for coming. This is the Music Means podcast. I want to end this podcast with a song from a project that I just put out with Antisymbol called Packalucci's Volume 8. And we're going to end this podcast with this song, and then I'm going to see y'all very soon. The next episode, y'all aren't going to want to miss, because I'm going to start with my interview process. And we're going to be shooting that next week down in Newport News. I'm going to be interviewing my pops. And I just feel like that's the best way to start this thing off and opening up the dialogue so y'all can. It's not even about me. I want y'all to see who my pops is and learn who he is, and maybe you'll understand more about me and where I come from, but also gain a perspective on music and life as a musician from his era, and where we come from, in our journey in that way. So again, stay tuned next week. This is the episode 1 of the Music Means podcast. I'm CJ. Until next time, with love. Peace.
3 a.m. Here we managed to do it. Now it's time to go to Orlando and see if we can't get one.
Still waiting for a big smile out of you. You're up 2-0. What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or?
Still to be happy about.
You're up 2-0.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
It ain't about making magic, it's more about making it happen. It's a balance, like watching Martin and driving to Aspen. I'm asking for patience, I'm not asking for your time. I'm only on guys, don't need you waiting on mine. Don't nobody got it figured out, you can flip an ounce and get involved. H2O and minerals, we getting those, many lost. I've been trying to find a way through valleys, but accelerated. Depression got me hella wasted, but I knew I still can make it. Gold chains and silver lines, Espelon and Dennis Times, Ralph Lauren and Jordan 5s. Tell me why you look surprised, it was always gonna be us, but see, we had to accept it ourselves. Ego got y'all thinking that you really ain't needing the help. Everyone out for self, a lot of rappers wanna be cool, make a couple reels to smoke their life away in a stool. Chill, nah, me, I got more living to do. Virginia to the valley, bro, I got more living to do. I got the X4, but I really need the XM. Driving through Hollywood, windows down on the west end. Bold system fully on blast, bumping confessions. Look how I ushered in a way to paint a picture of my blessings. Let the blunt burn like run on sentences. Soon as it's my turn, I'ma run on sentence shit. Period. From the parking lot, you know what the feeling is. It's the Broadberry or the boombox, I still feel it, kid. You never know what it took to get here. Playing against the zone after all these years. I still burn full court pressure like Kobe. Always finished strong when I left like Ginobili. You never know what it took to get here. Playing against the zone after all these years. I still burn full court pressure like Kobe. Always finished strong when I left like Ginobili.
Look, like Curry, won't the strongest of the tallest. Work the hardest, separate the bench warmers from the starters. Artists I drew on, my experience to barter. I passed up the sprinters, found my pace and took a father. Spoke 1,000 odd fathers through a few Hail Marys. Don't forget to smell the flowers, in the end we pushing daisies. So don't go crazy when comparing your real life. What you see on the screen is not what it appear like. Cause pressure busts pipes, and these cowards can too. Obstacles I ran through grew hotter than Cancun. Getting fried, dreaming stuffing with cheese that Rangoon. Floating in a Tudor coupe from 5 of us in the room. My patients tell me all in due time, I want it soon. Being poor might be all in your mind, so get in tune. Been depressed, been anxious, been down, been chasing. Success is relative but felt distant as a stranger. How I feel with anger, odds against me, it ain't fair. You could be out of here tomorrow where they care. Who knows, you better look within and do better. Take account of where you at and take your eyes off whoever. Cause in the end it's only you and you alone that can change it. Play your hand and change the game, take the pieces, rearrange it. You can be rich and quiet or be broken, hella famous. Most of all, find your peace cause negativity contagious.
You never know what it took to get here. Playing against the zone after all these years. I still burn full court pressure like Kobe. Always finished strong when I left like Ginobili. You never know what it took to get here. Playing against the zone after all these years. I still burn full court pressure like Kobe. Always finished strong when I left like Ginobili.
The last Michael might address you in haikus. I'm nothing like you, I'm most poetic. They hear my voice and know that it's epic. They spin a vinyl, it's vital, a coded message. With no discretion, I give it to them raw, I'm sorta sexing. Make sure the kids ain't peeking through their fingers. The marijuana lingers off the jazz singers. Smooth as go Alpinus, grit like old Al Green was. I might be genius with this sort of thinking. I see my zenith in a picture with this sort of framing. You see me pour the cement, it's not a hole I've been engraving. You know the foundation's the most sacred. Yeah, you know the foundation. I seen things fall before they had a chance to return. Snakes walking upright is cool, maybe discern. I don't know what's going on, round the corner so much to learn. Student of the court, I remember court went and adjourned. And after that process I thought I was straight like a perm. It was hot the way they combed through my crib, the wildest occurred. But as long as I had me a verse they won't concern. fact that you still get a verse and it's fucking clean. I'm in my Jordan, yeah, I've been relevant since 17. 17, still serving junkies, still a microphone fiend.
You never know what it took to get here. Playing against the zone after all these years. I still burn full court pressure like Kobe. Always finished strong when I left like Ginobili. You never know what it took to get here. Playing against the zone after all these years. I still burn full court pressure like Kobe. Always finished strong when I left like Ginobili.